guest today is Beth Ikard, and she is with the Mayor's Office of Infrastructure, Transportation, and Sustainability. A lot on your plate, Beth. It's good to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, I know we're talking about so many things here, but essentially the importance of getting around town in a healthy and safe way, whether on foot or cycling. So what is the city doing in terms of promoting this, but getting people to be safe when they are out walking or bicycling?
Well, one thing that we're doing is we're continuing to invest in the infrastructure that would support the modes of walking and bicycling. So we're not, we're ununique in terms of other American cities where we've developed and built our cities primarily around the car, and that means that there's a deficit of places for people to walk and bike safely. So we're investing in the infrastructure. We're also partnering with groups like Walk Bike Nashville on education and outreach to communities on, for motorists on how to share the road, but then also for cyclists and pedestrians on how to get out there and walk and bike safely.
What are some of the tips for getting around safely? You think, oh, that's common sense, walking, stay on the sidewalk, bicycling, stay in your bike lane, but sometimes it's not quite that simple.
Yeah. Well, for pedestrians, especially if you're walking at night, you want to wear protective or visible gear where you're visible, not black clothing, maybe some reflective clothing, maybe not walk around with earbuds in your ears, because if a motorist is making a right on red, you're not going to have any eyes in the back of your head to hear them coming. For a cyclist, utilizing low stress facilities or the bike lanes that we have. There is a map for that. It's called the Nashville Groove Map, and that's going to put you on streets that are a little bit more traffic calm, slower speeds, less vehicles, and of course wear a helmet if you're bicycling. And then for pedestrians especially, walk to the intersection to cross. Don't try to cross mid-block. Don't
jaywalk.
Right.
More pedestrians have been killed in recent months, or you mentioned before we started taping about or talking about in 2015 a bad statistic for Nashville.
Yeah, in 2015, pedestrian deaths reached a 20-year high, and we were recently ranked the 38th most dangerous metro area for walking out of 104 large metro areas. And again, that's in part because we've, sprawled, built things around the car and not necessarily made it safe to walk. We have a huge deficit of sidewalk infrastructure. The downtown and the inner ring neighborhoods have good sidewalks, and then further out, even in subdivisions, we built them, but there's a wide swath in between where we don't have that infrastructure. So retrofitting those environments, but then also making sure that motorists, for example, are slowing down. A pedestrian hit at 45 miles per hour has a 35% chance of survival. If they're struck at 25 miles per hour, they have a 90% chance of survival.
Okay, now you talk about also making yourself visible to drivers, being alert, also walking, against the traffic, right, versus with the traffic,
right? Which
most people know that, but some people still don't do that properly.
Right.
And as far as cyclists and them obeying the rules of the law. You do see some cyclists who will go through the traffic lights and not follow the same rules of the road.
Right. That is one area where, cyclist education is really important. So cyclists are to follow the rules of the road, utilize bike lanes where they're available to them, try not to ride on the sidewalk. I know in some areas we have high speeds and a lot of car volume, and so cyclists will tend to do that, but then you could run into a conflict with pedestrians. And also, for motorists, just be patient. We do have a 3-foot law. You need to allow 3 foot when passing a cyclist, and sometimes the oncoming traffic doesn't allow that, and so you get stuck behind a cyclist, and you might just need to wait, and then you'll be able to pass safely.
You mentioned adding more green space and more of a canopy in our downtown area for various reasons, including health reasons. Expand on that for me.
Yeah, well, we have about 30% tree cover, urban canopy in the downtown area, which is not huge. We'd like to try and get to 50%, which would be a huge undertaking. But when you have trees in the right-of-way, particularly where it's 80 to 90 degrees and very humid for several months out of the year, it can definitely enhance the pedestrian environment and make it more pleasurable and enjoyable for people to get out and walk, which obviously has a huge impact on our health.
Physical as well as mental.
Right, physical as well as mental, and then also air quality, trees and water quality. Trees suck up a lot of pollution out of both the air and the stormwater.
What initiatives, you mentioned infrastructure improvements, any other initiatives as far as education so people know where the best places are for walking, biking in the city of Nashville as we continue to grow so rapidly?
Yeah, well, we have just wrapped up a sidewalk and bikeway master plan. It's called Walk and Bike. There was a huge public input process into that, and it recommends a priority sidewalk network and a priority bikeway network. The urban core bikeway network, would be a low stress biking type of facility where people of all ages and abilities could feel comfortable. We have that plan now. We just need to move forward with implementation. Hopefully that is not just on the metropolitan government alone, but as new development comes in and we're able to work with businesses on redesigning our streetscapes to get bike lanes in or get sidewalks in, that's also an opportunity. But we know what direction we're heading now, and relatively these are low-cost improvements for municipal budgets. The entire urban core bikeway network could be built out for less than the cost of one interstate interchange.
Is that right? What an interesting fact that is.
It's also a lot less expensive for people to get around by walking or biking. It's about $9,000 a year to operate, own, and maintain a vehicle, whereas you can walk for free or ride a bike for about $700 a year.
Isn't that the truth? And feel a lot better.
And feel a lot better and more productive and live longer.
Yeah. Okay, great information. Thank you so much as we approach the summer. Here we are. Yeah, thank you very much, Mary Beth.
Thanks, Amy.
Okay, a lot more ahead. Stay with us.